And so if you ask why Matt Bowen, or if you want to ask why John Groce, it's obvious my first criteria is the coach can't have more hair than me. But in all seriousness, Coach Groce,
hey!
Tremendous
brother.
record of success, competitive success. He's an outstanding recruiter.
What?
If you look that he spent
he's 34 and
almost
30
his
in
whole
the MAC.
basketball life in the Midwest and as part of the Big Ten fabric. He is really, in so many ways, his pedigree and the coaches that he's worked with, whether it's Thad Matta or Sean Miller, you can go on and on and on. Herb Sendek.
No, don't go on.
He's had great mentors. He's worked side by side with some of the best coaches.
That's why he's our sixth
in the
choice.
Country. And I'll tell you, he has a lot of energy.
What?
A great deal of energy. I have said that already 3 times this year. So I know one thing. If I'm going to participate in the Illinois Marathon Relay, if I'm the anchor leg with Coach Beckman, Coach Bolin, and Coach Groce,
What?
I'm going to be able to breeze on the way home. With
Nobody
the gold
knows
medal.
what you're talking
So,
about.
Tremendous energy, and someone who I'm excited about.
I know what he's
is
talking
the next
about.
head men's basketball coach
No, I don't.
at the University of Illinois.
We've actually
so at this
hired
point in
somebody.
time, I'm going to introduce our new coach, John Groce. John?
Who's he? What? Who?
Appreciate it.
Oh, God.
I'll put that on, man. I like it.
He's putting on a hat.
Why?
He has a bottle of water.
You have to have a hat.
He's putting on a baseball
Thank you.
hat.
You have to have a hat.
He's apparently coaching baseball, too.
Obviously,
do
our
it.
family's excited to be a part of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I really mean that. I'll talk more about that as we go along, but before
Thank
we
you.
dive into Illinois, I do want to thank Ohio University. I
Hello.
want to thank the president there, Dr. Roderick McDavis, the director of athletics
not a real
there,
person.
Jim Schaus, as well as the board of trustees there, the Athens community,
You used to drink it, Jim
and
Schaus.
most importantly, the players who have a big part of why this opportunity exists for my family.
Sixth choice.
And I can't thank them enough. I love those kids, and they'll always be a part of our family.
Don't like it.
But again, back to the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know, I can't explain to you what the last few days have been like.
Try.
The chance to be standing up here before you.
Silliness.
From a fit perspective, as I looked at it from my family, being a guy from Danville, Indiana, about 107 miles, I MapQuest it door to door. Route 36 here to Assembly Hall. Boy, it's hard to believe. You know, as a kid, I grew up watching Big Ten basketball.
Who the hell
obviously
is he?
Growing up right outside of Indianapolis in Danville. And I remember watching Big Ten games on TV and coaches' shows and listening to Big Ten games on my grandmother's transistor radio. And I remember someone asked me the most vivid memory that I maybe had of Illinois basketball. It was of the Flying Illini. And it was of...
Transistor
Shut
radio.
up.
I
Smart
remember
sounds
watching
weird.
the game on television as vividly as I'm standing here today when Nick Anderson made the half-court shot to beat Indiana in Bloomington.
I remember that after Jay Edwards hit a shot right before.
I
Right?
remember
exactly
how
right.
athletic and truly flying up and down the court that team was, and obviously its trip to the Final Four. I think of the 05 team when I was at another school east of here, Far East.
Far
in
East,
05,
Vietnam.
How good those guys were. And I remember one time a kid that played for us at the time. I was an assistant at Ohio State saying, "Coach, I'm trying to chase D. Brown off of screens like you told me to, but he's really fast."
He's bad.
And so I have some
fast,
fun, certainly some fond memories of Illinois and of Big Ten basketball.
Why?
Growing up. For me, when I mean a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, it's exactly what I meant. I looked at it and said, I'm a little bit different than everybody else. You know, this was the first and only job that I interviewed for since I've been at Ohio. I'm a fit guy. You know, it was important for me that our family, we felt like we could plug into a community, be a vibrant part of the community. My wife's very active. She enjoys that role, as are my children, Connor and Camden. And we just felt like this would be a great community, not only to grow a basketball program, but to also raise our family. So that fit was really important. The second thing that stood out to me was that I thought to myself, Illinois, why not?
That's deep.
Why can't we become the standard of excellence or a standard of excellence amongst those teams in the Big Ten, competing for championships, earning the right to do that? And by doing that, then you become a player on the national stage. It becomes a byproduct of that. And why can't we do that consistently there?
Is this the Penguin?
And
you want an answer to that, or is
the
that
answer
rhetorical?
was we can.
We'll answer it later.
I kept thinking through that over and over the last 2 to 3 days. So the combination of the potential here at the University of Illinois with the fit, made it that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity phrase that I used with you to begin our conversation here today.
What?
Before I answer questions, I want to recognize some people. Obviously, a very important part of the process is Dr. Easter, our president, Dr. Wise, our chancellor, Mike Thomas, our athletic director, the board of trustees,
not all
Jason
of them.
Leonard,
Not all of them.
There's a
senior
couple that are
associate,
not happy about you.
as well as Mike DiLorenzo. Those guys and people certainly had a lot to do with me standing up here today. So we're very thankful that they've given our family this wonderful opportunity to be a part of the Illini family. I've also got a lot of family here who made
I promised myself I wouldn't
the
cry.
drive down Route 36. They're all down in here and up in here. I don't have time to introduce you to all of them because I know you guys have a lot of things to do today, so you don't have an extra hour for me to announce everyone that's here from hometown. But my parents are here. I do want to recognize them. My mother, Barbara Steele. Please stand, Mom.
I read her novels.
They're not showing you.
Stepfather, Jerry Steele. Jerry, you want to stand?
What?
My stepmother, Linda Groce.
Are you Jewish?
No, I think so.
And my father, Larry Groce.
Wait, he used to work for WVLN, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So I do want to recognize them. Again, thanks for this opportunity. The last thing I'll leave you with before I answer questions is about in this area. Are the benches near here? Are they on this side? I'm kind of disoriented here, Kent. Is this right? This is right here? Okay. I just know a couple times when I've been here as an opposing coach, the Orange Crush made it very difficult to communicate in timeouts. So we expect you to continue to play that role. I know we've got one of the best student organizations and fan bases in the country, and we're so grateful for that. And I look forward to interacting with you guys.
You won't want to for long.
Questions, please.
What the hell are you doing here? How does it feel to be the sixth choice?
Coach, first, congratulations and welcome right over here.
There you are. Okay, thank you.
Paul
No
Cleveland,
congratulations and welcome.
You talked about a
Take that, Bernstein.
Illinois basketball with the Flying Illini and then the 04-05 team. Those were kind of spurts when this was an elite program.
Hey.
How do you envision this program? Do you feel like that it's possible to maintain those standards of excellence like you talked about?
Well, that's going to be our approach. And it started when I said yes to the job. There's no question that I think this place, as I mentioned earlier, Paul, has tremendous potential. There's been a lot of great coaches and great players here. You know that as well as anyone. You study the history of Illinois basketball and what they've accomplished. It's a really special place. There's no doubt about that. I think about Coach Henson and those teams. Obviously, Coach Weber did a terrific job as well.
Obviously.
Always thought his teams were very well coached as we prepared for them.
Tremendous.
And other great players and coaches. I think the challenge is exactly what you just said. And if I didn't believe that could happen, Paul, I wouldn't be standing up here. I think the consistency over greatness line that Pat Riley uses all the time is what we're all looking for. And that's what we want to be about. And that's why I mentioned that vision of being a standard of excellence in our conference. And when you do that on a consistent basis, then you get the opportunity to be a player on the national stage regularly. And there's no question that that's the vision. I don't. I like the hat, Ken. I'm going to keep wearing the hat. Are you guys okay with that? Can I keep wearing the hat?
Kent Brown let him take the hat off.
Kent's just saying that because he and I share the same hairline.
He was hey!
Coach Neil Fisher, Comcast Sportsnet in Chicago. Clearly, there's been a lot of discussion in the Chicago area about your hire and whether or not you have ties or connections with some of the high school coaches in the Chicago area. Clearly, you know the Big Ten, having recruited for Thad Matta at Ohio State. How do you envision, though, getting your name out there and meeting with some of these other coaches in the Chicago area?
Well, we have some previously established relationships that are going to be important. And, obviously I was fortunate. One of our better players that I coached at Ohio was the kid Cooper, who's from Chicago. And then I had the privilege of coaching Evan Turner when I was at Ohio State as an assistant. And obviously Chicago's rich in talent, has terrific coaching. There's a lot of people in that city that care about those kids that we're going to have to work at to connect with. But like I said, we already have a lot of previously established relationships there, more than what people think. But I'm looking forward to getting to know those guys even better than what we do, and getting to know some of the coaches there that we need to know better. And we're looking forward to doing that. So I understand how important that area is. I think, we're thrilled that Chicago's in our state. That's great. I mean, that's excellent. And we've got to make sure that we do the very best job of taking advantage of it and make sure that the Illinois brand, if you will, is loud and clear in the city of Chicago.
Hold on, my house just lost power.
Bush.
That's not a question.
Yes, it is.
Just curious, Coach, then have you heard from Thad Matta at all? I'm assuming he was a mentor of yours. And
have you heard from Bill Walsh?
What has he told you about being a head coach in the Big Ten? And do you look forward to being a rival now with your former mentor?
No.
Well, I look forward to competing against him for sure. I'm a competitive guy, but he and I are very close friends. I'll never hide that. I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for him. He's meant a lot to my career professionally, and he's a really good person, first and foremost. And obviously our family's benefited from that. So, yeah, I've talked to him. I've used him as a resource for sure. Not just in this situation, but in many others. He's a part of what I call my advisory board, and will always be a part of that advisory board. So, I know Allison feels the same way about their family. We're thankful that they've been a part of our lives.
Tate News Gazette. What's the process now for hiring your assistants, and have you talked to Jerens at this point?
No, not yet. I'm looking forward to doing that, Lauren. I'm hoping to do that sometime today, get a chance to meet with him and get to know him better. In terms of the staff, it's going to take a little bit of a window here. The staff, there will be some guys coming with me from Ohio. That's in flux a little bit right now based on what happens there with their coaching hire moving forward. But we're going to try to do that as quickly as we can. But at the same time, we also want to make sure that we've got what I call the right people on the bus. So I don't want to be so quick that we make a rash decision.
Get on the bus.
I think people are the most people make a place. I think people make a basketball program or a basketball staff.
Oh, brother.
And so I want to make sure that we're putting the best collection of coaches together. We owe that to these kids. The guys that are going to be on that bus have got to be guys that are interested first and foremost in helping them grow as people, students, and players. And that's the type of staff that we're looking for and that we're persistently going to work to put together.
John Calipari just hired Jerens Howard during that answer. He's taking all the Chicago recruits as we speak.
Welcome to Champaign, Jim Cotter, WGCY-FM.
Thank you.
It's always tough telling your former players of your decision to leave. How was that decision met when you met with your players from Ohio?
It was great.
Hard meeting. Those kids, like I said, I love them. That'll never change.
Right. Would you like money more?
Those kids mean a lot to
like
me.
Money.
That will,
money good.
That was the hardest part of it. Someone asked me today, what was, you put a list together when you make a decision like this of pros and cons. I didn't necessarily do that formally, but certainly the one, maybe the only con was that I had to walk into that meeting tomorrow, or this morning, and say goodbye to those kids, because those kids mean a lot to me and my family.
Oh. Hey, Coach, Adam Marsh from OriginBlueNews.com. Talk about the style of basketball you guys like to play out on the court, and then talk about the current roster and what you think they'd fit your style of basketball, or if you can adapt to what they can do.
Well, the word I like to use the best is attack. We're like the boxer, and you'll hear me use this analogy, that tries to knock someone out in each of the 10 4-minute rounds and then come up for air at the end of the media timeout and swing again. We're... on the defensive end, we play that way. Offensively, we try to play as fast as we possibly can. I've had great depth in the past. So I've been fortunate enough that we've had great depth to be able to do that, especially the last 2 years.
Depth.
In terms of this team, I haven't had a chance to watch a lot of film yet. I saw them play a couple times during the year just on TV.
That's trouble!
The interesting thing about college basketball is you're so locked in on your team and watching your team's film, or watching the opponent that's coming up next, and it seems like games are coming at you every 2 or 3 days, that I haven't really had a chance to study. I am familiar with a lot of the players because most of them are from the Midwest.
That's trouble!
I've seen them play either on TV a little bit or in a high school or AAU setting.
Or
so that helps
bad.
a little bit, but I'm not going to prejudge. I'm going to start working with them. I'm looking forward to doing that. We're going to figure out the best style here in year one that fits them, that gives them the best chance to be successful.
Just gave me a style.
I think adaptability is important.
Well, wait a minute. I'm confused.
Coach Jim Matheson from WHI in Peoria, way up.
Who the hell is he?
Congratulations to you. And let me ask you, kind of following up on what he asked about the current players, what do you know about the current players at Illinois, and what was your message to them today?
Well, to be honest with you, I just wanted to get to know them a little bit better. We had some fun in the discussion or meeting, if you want to call it a meeting. And I know you'll get a chance to obviously.
I don't even think he knows each of the Illinois jobs.
I wanted to let him know that he's
a good fit, but he doesn't know who the players are.
Talked about, but most importantly, it's their program.
Well, he'll get him on the bus.
It's their program. It's a player's program. I'm a big relationship guy. I'm anxious to get to know each and every one of them.
Yeah, wait a minute.
And a bus guy.
We're going to work diligently to do that starting today.
I'm confused.
And that, I told them my commitment to them is going to be helping them grow as people, students, and players.
No.
And thinking about helping them do that on a daily basis. That's what, when I wake up every day, that's kind of what makes me tick. So we talked a little bit about that. We joked a little bit, and there was some laughter in there, and I know they've been through an awful lot anytime there's a transition and coaching change, and so I feel their pain, and now I'm here, and I'm really excited
$1.5 million a year
to get to know them better.
Coach Eric Smith, Taylor University.
Who the hell is he?
You've climbed the ladder pretty quickly since your time at Taylor. Talk about those days and how important those were to playing and coaching under Coach Patterson, how vital those were to who you've become as a coach today.
Well, instrumental. The experience at Taylor is in fact, I just told someone the other day, Eric, that if I had to do it all over again, I'd go right back and do it again. I think it shaped and molded me into who I am as a person first.
What is it?
And then
that guy just got a credit for asking that question.
Also as a husband,
I've never heard of it.
And as a father. So
no, it's in Taylor.
It's something that was an invaluable experience. Coach
That's
Patterson.
Tyler. Tyler. Oh, I'm sorry.
Already. Coach
Taylor.
Patterson is the head coach at Taylor University. He's been a tremendous mentor to me.
Who the hell is he?
He's making up colleges now.
Other than my parents, has impacted me about as much as any male in my life. So I'm thankful for that.
By cracking.
Haley York, UI7 News. What do you think your biggest obstacle is for this coming season?
Being bad.
I'm not sure yet. I do know this. You'll find this out about me. I'm a glass half full guy.
I thought you were a fit guy.
That's just
and a bus
guy. What was the other one? He's a lot of different kinds of guys.
He's been raised in the way I approach things.
Relationship guy.
So we look at
There's too many guys.
Opportunities.
He's a bunch of different guys
to get better and to grow. And right now, without having studied it enough, certainly not trying to dodge your question,
Oh, I should have known that. Upland, Indiana.
Give you the one thing that I think might be our biggest concern or area where we need improvement.
Hey, buddy.
But we'll work hard with these guys. We'll figure out, and there will be some obstacles. I shared with them today that life is 70% stormy and 30% smooth.
Coach.
And how you deal with both determines how successful you are in life. So we'll figure out what's stormy and what's smooth, and we'll work very, very hard to adapt. And like I said, put them in the best position to be successful off the court.
Cannot play with them.
Coach Rick Morrissey from the Chicago Sun-Times.
Yay!
Who the hell is he? Success in the NCAA tournament. On the flip side of that, your record in the MAC is a little bit above 500. Can you understand why there is some skepticism about this hire?
Real question.
I guess my answer to that would be simply that I'm flattered to be here. I think it's an honor to be here. I'm excited about the opportunity to be here, and we're going to work really, really hard to reach the vision that we talked about. I think there's always skeptics in everything in life. That's part of that stormy deal that I just mentioned to you. And if you don't have thick skin in this profession, you're in trouble. You can't please everybody.
You got to please yourself.
Yeah, but not in public.
You have to do what's right. And, the core values that I really believe in are three things. One is integrity, 2 is commitment level, and 3 is unity. And, we're going to stick by those 3 things and encourage our guys to grab a hold of those 3 core values on a daily basis. And, there's going to be skeptics. That's reality. And it's all in how you deal with them. As I said, we choose to look at the glass as half full.
You need a glass first, though.
No. Okay. Hi, Rob McCauley, Smile Politely Magazine.
Who the hell is he?
What?
I'm sure you want to prove all these skeptics in the Chicago area wrong.
Penthouse.
And I'm sure all of us in Media Row would love to document your successes.
Those
Do you prefer
city
having
folk.
your practices
That would
open
be
to the
you.
media?
I believe in this guy.
No, because it's a teaching environment. There will be parts of it that are, because we certainly want to be accessible, and we understand how fanatical the people are about the University of Illinois basketball program. We're very grateful for that. We love that. But when it comes to teaching, I was a classroom teacher at one point in my life. I taught.
What?
And I think it's important to create an environment where kids can learn the best, and that's our job as coaches to do that.
Just win
so
games.
It'll probably be a little bit of a balance of both. Will there be carte blanche, for every minute of the practice, whoever can come in wants to come. I don't think you see that in classroom settings.
This is frustrating.
And to me as a teacher, and that's what I am. I consider myself a teacher.
Wow.
My job is to
What a
create an
business
environment
card.
where they can learn the best. So because of that, we'll have to balance that. But we'll work with you. We're excited that everybody's excited about us, and we enjoy that part of it. But I do think there's a balance there when it comes to teaching and creating that environment.
Commit to the jersey.
Coach, do you have an opportunity to recruit? You've got a scholarship, at least one. Do you see the ability? Do you have any ideas about what to go? Advance ideas in terms of recruiting, as you've got only a few weeks to do it.
I didn't like it.
Obviously, I've studied it a little bit, Lauren. Right now, when people ask if we're still recruiting, my answer is always going to be we recruit every day. Obviously, within the rules, we're recruiting 24/7. Your mind has to be on recruiting constantly. It's the lifeblood of your program. It's what drives results more than anything else. I am aware of the fact that we have one scholarship, and obviously we'll be examining that very closely. The one thing is that I've learned from a lot of my mentors is it's not so much sometimes the guy you don't get, it's who you get.
Black.
So we want to make sure that we don't make, just like the staff, we're not going to make any rash decisions about who we add to the bus, to our bus that's driving
I got a bus list
in the direction that we want it to go.
We're all on the bus. It takes
we're going to have to study that a little bit more in terms of need. I think I'll know more once I get a chance to watch a little bit of film and spend some more time with our guys here over the next few weeks working them out.
Hi, Coach. John Sapini from Gatehouse News Service. How you doing?
Good.
So you said you grew up 107 miles east of here. So does that make you a Hoosier, or how would you describe yourself?
You're going to put me on the spot. Huh?
We don't like
when I grew up, you guys can boo her right now if you want, but my wife is actually an Indiana graduate, so you can
do it. Boo her. Do it.
But I didn't have a lot of respect for that program and what they're doing right now. But when I was a kid, I grew up, if you ask me who I rooted for when I was a kid, I rooted for Indiana when I was a kid, when I was younger. You know, you can blame that on, God rest her soul, my grandmother. Okay?
His soul?
I didn't have any choice.
Wow.
So you can blame that on her.
So grandma with a transistor radio? Were you listening to Flying Illini?
Coach Jeremy,
well, they didn't have anything else in
Connect
89.
FM. You said you really couldn't explain the last 2 days. Can you try and kind of fill us in on what kind of happened the last 2 days?
Well, it moved very quickly. You know, we played in the tournament through Friday. We got back in Athens on Saturday. Had a chance to decompress a little bit. Sunday was reached. Monday interviewed. You know, Tuesday/Wednesday negotiations. Wednesday offered. Wednesday took.
You look like a rude.
Hey!
Coach Rayford Weigel, ABC7 in Chicago. You talked about your style of play, your offense. Is there a certain type of player that you will be looking to recruit
tall
in
and
your
black
system, whether it's athletic style, whether it's a top 10 kid who's
and
one
fast.
and done, a 4-year college player, or a mix of...
I've gone back to white because of Kevin Love.
We're going to try to get the very best players that we possibly can that are Illinois guys. Now, I can stand up here for an hour explaining to you in detail from...
We'd prefer you didn't.
Know, they got to show me that they have a desire to earn a degree. That'd be one.
Oh, are you kidding me? Then you're going to suck.
Ethic, toughness. And then obviously there's things aside.
Desire to earn a degree is the first thing out of your mouth?
Fit specific positions that we're looking for.
How about 9 feet tall?
And rising.
Play fast or faster, as I mentioned earlier. Athleticism is important. Length's important. I think
earning a
degree.
Important.
Playing with energy is important. You know, for us and how we play. You know, we like to attack the paint via the pass or the dribble. Whether that's with great post player or guys that can deck the ball and get into the paint.
He's going to get it done.
We utilize the three-point shot on offense.
I'm predicting.
That's a good call in college basketball. The utilization of the three-point shot.
Yeah. See?
Are we? Is that it?
He's ahead of the curve.
Is that it?
Yeah, we're going to keep running on it, but I think
I'd like to keep running because I want some more of those guys. Some Smile Mag. What's he talking about?
Smile Politely
Smile
magazine.
Yeah, those ass bags in Chicago don't like you. We really like you. And
what's that dude talking about?
I'm from Made Up Credential magazine.
And I never got the explanation why Matt Bowen is the women's coach. What's he doing? Did he leave us? Well, what happened?
I'm a fit guy. I'm a competitive guy. I'm a bus guy. I'm a glass half full guy. And the most important thing I want to do is have kids who want to earn a degree. Good luck. I want one and done guys who can jump really high.
Oh, you're not going to get that in Illini.
Oh boy.
Oh
boy.
You got to have a program, put together people.
Yeah, there's an update, and then there's going to be things, and we'll get things started, and then we'll all throw up. You've got the score.
Very pleasant good afternoon. Going to make you several promises for the next, 4 hours and 20 minutes or so. We're going to do the best we can to keep you informed and entertained. Perhaps have a laugh or two along the way. A lot of persistent rapping at someone's back door.
Yeah.
I'm pretty damn sure it's already been happening.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Just so bad. We're bad people. And this is the radio's best combination of divisive, outrageous, appalling, objectionable, offensive, and occasionally inhospitable. I'm Terry Boers.
I'm Dan Bernstein. Second half at 3:30, 5 o'clock today because it's Thursday.
Hey, buddy.
We will do
who you crapping?
Surprises along the way as well. 312-644-6767 is our number at WSCR The Score. You email us at boersandbernstein@670thescore.com. That's where you go to listen to us live. We're streaming at 670thescore.com. The feedback zone is there, brought to you by Xfinity. You find emails and texting at 67011. Mobile device gets you to Score Mobile. Show's Twitter page at Boers_Bernstein. BoersandBernstein.com, brought to you by Bob Rohrman Schaumburg Ford, online at RohrmanFord.com. Drive a new Ford Fusion over 30 MPG highway for just $239 a month. Producers, Chris Tannehill.
This is easily the worst championship caliber team in any sport I've ever discussed ever.
For those who missed it, he was talking about the Bulls. That guy isn't Captain Indestructible. Chris Tannehill is.
Jason Goff.
I don't know what Thibodeau was doing. It's an incredible job, but this team sucks.
Wow. One of the dumbest asses ever to call the station.
Wow. And that was during this show?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he didn't call this show. Okay. No. He is the most dangerous producer in the world and just did a great job the first 3 days of this week.
See, he's still got a little gitch in his hitty-up.
What? He's got a what?
A gitch in his hitty-up.
See, he's still got a little gitch in his hitty-up.
Jason Goff.
It's good.
Power.
Anyway, he was great the first 3 days a week because we had a lot of Illini conversation, as you might imagine.
I imagine that's the case. And Ed Griesman is here.
I feel better when he is. The
best
world's
thing is
better.
he said he's thrilled that Chicago is in our state. Was it somehow in question?
Well, there was
disoriented here.
Yeah, while you were gone.
Did he take the job only with the contingency that Chicago remains the state?
I'm kind of disoriented here.
Yeah, you are. We're thrilled Chicago's in our state, but you're probably not going to recruit Jabari Parker now because that's not a guy who's coming here looking for a degree. How do you say that? The very first question about recruiting, and the first thing you say is we want people who are committed to getting a degree? Wrong. That's just the wrong answer.
Wrong, bald man.
Yes, bald man is wrong.
Wrong, bald man.
Oh, no, you can't. No.
Let somebody else worry about that stuff. If they want to, if you get, well, you know what? He's used to having guys that stay around.
Yeah, but if you're trying to win a national championship, why don't you get the best players? Because now you've basically said you're not signing Jabari Parker.
Even though we were told he remains interested.
There was one difficult question for him.
Rick Morrissey.
We have to send somebody down from Chicago now that we know for sure that it's still a part of Illinois, that Rick Morrissey has to go down there and ask a damn question. Everybody else, I'm from Numbnuts Magazine, and I want to welcome you here and go Illinois. And how's everything going? Can you talk about Illinois? Idiots. I'm from a magazine I made up, and I want to ask you about a college that doesn't exist. How's everything going?
It does exist. It's
Welcome.
evangelical Christian.
Happy to have you here.
It's an evangelical Christian college in Upland, Indiana.
Yeah?
It's a place where young minds are formed.
Yeah?
I don't know. They're also, you know what they're grateful for? That Indianapolis is in the state.
Well, I'm happy I got a bus through stormy weather, and the glass is half full, and we want people who want to earn their degree. You just took the Illinois job.
Oh, boy.
This guy, and he's not going to keep Jerrance Howard. And does he have somebody who's going to go in and work with the Pimps? And Gladys Knight? I mean,
I don't know.
You better have somebody in there who's going to
Well, he used to be the guy that did it.
You're going to need a pimp whisperer. You're going to need somebody to talk
Not
to
according
these
to the people we've been talking to, you don't.
Oh, my God.
Not according to the people we know. Nothing.
Please.
No, that's not the way it works, my friend. Not the way it works.
Right. Sure. Right.
Not the way it works. You're welcome all times, all places. Come on down.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Was there, from what I can tell, there was one difficult question.
Yeah, Morrissey had written a couple days ago that it was bad that they didn't hire a black coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's all over the Illinois' ass.
Well, I know that Reggie would have given better press conference than that.
Oh, you bet.
And he probably would have recruited Chicago better. We're thrilled Chicago's in our state.
You bet he would have given better press conference.
That's why there was a hitch in the negotiations. I had to make sure Chicago was in this state.
Well, you know, sometimes I'm not sure. I get lost.
Sometimes I'd prefer it wasn't, actually. Stuff like this.
And who did you root for when you were a kid?
First he said, okay, hold on. First he tells everybody to boo his wife. So he's driving along his bus, and then just backs over his wife. And then he says he was listening to the Flying Illini on old Grandma's transistor radio.
Yeah,
right after FDR's fireside chat.
I didn't know you needed a transistor radio to listen to. They had TV back in there.
And then he said that Grandma made him root for Indiana.
But then Grandma's dead.
Grandma's dead now.
Oh. I think she was dead then when she made him root for Indiana.
But in '89, he was listening to the Illini on the transistor radio.
No, I think No, I don't think that's right. And I don't think Grandma's dead either. I'm going to check the tree.
Go check the tree.
I'm going to shake the tree. I'm going to shake the tree, see what comes down. Come on now, that's not right.
Wait, Grandma lived in a tree?
We're thrilled that Chicago's in our state.
That's the way I feel.
Grandma, get down from that tree, from that third tree.
Well, he's got too many, steppings, too. My mom, my stepmom, my dad, my stepdad, my Mr. Steele. I read the books, though, the Steele books. That's a, ooh.
312-644-6767. Occasionally inhospitable. We're Boers and Bernstein on the score.
And welcome in, Boers and Bernstein reunited. Chicago Sports Radio 6-7 is score. We got ourselves a new Illinois basketball coach. I, for one, you know what I am?
What?
Thrilled.
Okay, good.
I'm a bus guy.
You're a bus guy? Well,
and a fit guy.
I'm a competitive guy and a glass half full guy.
No, you're a glass half empty guy.
But can I be on the bus?
No, under it. I'm putting you under the bus. You've torched my guy.
Why can't I stand on top of the bus like the guy from Priscilla, Queen of the Desert?
You're just not on the bus. You're not getting on the bus.
Gown.
I'm not letting you on the bus. No, you cannot get on the bus. I am riding away with John into the sunset.
Well, can I listen to Grandma's transistor radio?
That's what we're going to do.
Even if she's alive.
We're going to get some old Illini buckets and some, oldies.
The Score's 20th anniversary event is Friday, April 13th at Belvedere Banquets and Events in Elk Grove Village. It's a live celebration with all the current Score guys and some great surprises. Come relive the great memories Score style. Log on to 670thescore.com right now to buy your tickets. The $100 ticket price includes dinner, drinks, and a great show, emceed by Matt Abaticola. This will be an uncensored roundtable event inside the Score studios. Log on now to 670thescore.com to buy your tickets. Get those tickets today, getting your reaction to whatever that was and whoever that guy is. Marco in Brookfield, you're on the Score.
Hey, guys, you guys are eating up this lip service really good, but I think he's doing two things here. One, he's getting ready in case there is a graduation rate, qualifying type thing for the school, so he needs people that might need to want to get the degree. But also, many of the kids in the inner city might not know.
Win.
They might not know Chicago is in the state of Illinois, so that was his first step in recruiting at that press conference.
You're not serious.
Do you think Derrick Rose? Do you think Anthony Davis? They might not.
Oh, see, that train's never late, is it?
It might not.
Yeah,
so that was his first recruiting step, is to let everybody know, hey kids, guess what?
Yeah,
we're right next door.
See where this is coming from.
So don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. I think he might be on the right track.
You're embarrassing yourself. You know that.
Well, I hate the Big Ten, and I'm laughing at Illinois right now.
Well, you're still embarrassing yourself whether you're laughing at theIg Ten.
Well, why am I embarrassing myself?
Because you sound like an idiot.
You sound like a racist idiot.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
There's tons of people. Where are you from? Illinois. No, I'm from Chicago. A lot of people talk like that. And he's.
Well, who talks like that?
Who
talks like that? Who says that? Who doesn't know that Chicago's in the state of Illinois?
Maybe they don't associate it. Maybe they do know, right? But they don't associate it.
Who?
There's Illinois and then there's Chicago.
Why, Derek? Why are those your first examples? Derrick Rose and Anthony Davis.
Derrick Rose was kind of an idiot coming out of Memphis. I mean, it was really hard listening to him talk coming out of Memphis. I know people that went to Memphis that said
who went to Memphis?
Yeah, who went to Memphis?
Who do you know who went to Memphis?
I got buddies.
Who?
My friend.
First of all, we have made it hard to believe you have a friend.
I do, and I have followers, and so people on Twitter also say. So it's on the internet.
You don't have any followers on Twitter.
I have several.
No,
and then,
you don't.
No, he's correct. He has several.
Several, maybe 6 or 7. That I believe. Friends, no.
Porn bots count too, but really, you got to think that they're.
All right, I think that's enough.
Now, was that guy giving us a bid, or is that's not real? Was it?
Was he actually?
I think he was trying to be funny, but he ended up being stupid.
Yeah, he's not funny.
It wasn't funny.
What I mean?
Well, let's see.
Started on the path to funny.
It wasn't funny, and it was stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do we have time for another one, or we have to break because of our weird clock?
We don't have any more time for those, but
he's a fit guy.
We got to break now.
He's a fit guy.
I think I may
see what happens. You come back.
Yeah,
we didn't have any calls like that the entire week.
I may be a glass half full guy now. I think, although I do have to get on the bus. And
no, you're not getting on the bus until you change your ways.
I know. See, if I listened to Grandma's radio, everything would be different. Because I only grew up 102 miles away from Taylor Fladgate College.
You MapQuested it.
Yep, that west of the college, it doesn't exist. Where you just
it
learn
exists.
To be
it's a fine institution. I've got friends there.
Whatever.
I've got friends there. They follow me on Twitter.
your Twitter followers and all your buddies at Taylor University, where you can learn how to coach with your
Evangelical Christian University. That's what I needed to.
Advisory board. He's got, like the coach of Ohio State is going to advise you. Hey, John, here's what you do. Why don't you get those guys who want their degree? That would be my advice.
Like Greg Oden and Mike Conley.
Mm-hmm. Get those guys that are there for their degree because they're student athletes. Are you
Daquan
serious?
Cook.
Are you serious? That's the first thing out of your mouth. Well, first thing.
All three of those guys left after their first year.
Why don't you get guys who are so good at basketball that the NBA wants them? Otherwise, you are going to get your wang knocked in the dirt in this conference if you're recruiting student athletes.
Aaron Kraft.
You better be lying.
I want Aaron Kraft.
With his big red face.
I want guys I want guys on other teams. That's what I want.
Now you're Bruce Weber.
I know. I want guys on other
Robbie
teams.
Hummel, I like him, but he's not on our team, though, but I like him, and we can't get guys like him because our guys all suck, and they're soft and weak and weird, and I did a horrible job. And then he said Weber was a great coach.
Not at basketball.
You have the score.